was on North 10th, so it wasn't in the middle, but they helped fund it, so whether I do or don't like it, they actually gave money, so I won't.
All right, questions from the audience. Oh, wait, did you guys have questions?
No.
These fixtures right here, is put out by a private entity?
Yeah, that was Gym Park. They're a Greenpoint business. They come and set this up. We drive and pick them up. They said they usually do about 2 hours of this Gym Park. They have not confirmed for this year, but we're hoping. It's hard. I mean, it's not. It's a big commitment on their part, so it depends if they can.
But it's not stationary. It gets put together at night. It's something.
Yeah, it's just mats and like a little like gymnastics equipment.
Now, who's responsible if someone gets hurt?
So we have insurance through DYCD, so it would be covered by the DOT and or NAG's insurance, which is a city insurance. So if someone got hurt, it would be the city. DOT would be my first guess.
Is there any special security put out from the private sponsors, or it's security from the city?
I mean, like, if you're talking like about the gym park, they maintain it and make sure that only it's a controlled atmosphere, that like when they're doing the demos. So yeah, everyone sort of maintains their own thing. We have block captains and us that are walking up and down to make sure that no one is breaking the rules or doing something they're not supposed to. So, there's constant volunteers walking up and down and checking in. Technically, the 9-4 as well helps, although I would say last year, the first week they helped, the second week they sat in their cars. So I think it just depends who's on duty and who gives assignments. But the first week it was amazing. The 2 officers kept doing a triangle because there was a concert at the State River Park. And so they'd walk up and down Bedford, they'd go down to the concert, they'd come back and do it, and like they were really great. It was nice, their presence. I'm trying to ask Officer Adamo if that will happen all 3 weeks.
This is the Public Safety Committee, but the last 2 meetings we had so many Solid Cafe applications that the police officers felt like decided that we're never getting to police issues. I had hoped they'd be here today so we could all page. Now, are you going to go?
I have to have a sit down with him, and I'm actually going to go to the office because I don't want to have a conversation because I want them to. I want them to tow cars. I want them to.
Have you considered doing just a quickie to the 2 community councils and letting them know?
No, I let Officer Adamo do that. I'm one person. I have 8,000 meetings. No, sorry. I haven't thought about it. And to be honest, probably I won't be doing that.
She does have 8,000 meetings. She's our only paid staff.
You can volunteer.
I know. And I have 3 jobs.
There's a whole bunch of people that go to both meetings. Get one of them to join NAG and they can go to those meetings.
Sounds good. Put me in touch.
Yeah, but I was hoping they'd be here today so you could sort of commiserate both, because you're going to be in the 9-0. Because you don't go into the 9-0 because Grant's supposed to deal with the 9-0.
Yep, and she's been having her meetings with them.
So you only have to go to the 9-4 and it's tomorrow. It's like a half hour.
No way.
You get up, you make your speech, and you leave.
No. I meet with.
And then you can volunteer to have a table at National Night Out in August.
Oh, and I bet you they take a table at this too.
Yeah, a NAG table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the community council might want to set up a little table.
Well, they can.
You can get in touch, yeah. Perfect. Love it. Let's do it.
Well, I can give you the woman's email.
Great.
Graham's mom at what?
Yeah,
Graham's
AOL.
mom at AOL.com? Yeah, Graham's mom.
Who's Graham?
Graham's mom. I don't know. That's her email address. Graham's mom.
Is it with an H or just G-R-A-M?
It's Graham's, G-R-A-M-S, mom.
All caps.
Yeah. Graham's mom at AOL. She's the chair of the community council.
Yeah.
She's the Betty White.
Or the precinct council.
Okay, did you have a question, anything?
She says.
All right, the public.
I have a question. So it's been going on for 5 years.
This is the 5th year, so.
And I think you kind of answered this, but you don't have any data or information from businesses or neighborhood people about how they feel about it or whether or not they're making a profit?
So we've done surveys. The businesses, Northside Merchants sent out 10 businesses participated. It was all positive feedback. I didn't think it was a statistically valid sample to actually present as the businesses all think is positive feedback. It was 10 people. And again, we did a, what do you call it? A public survey, and we got about 150. and it varied. It went more wildly to the positive. There was people like, it should happen every day, and crazy stuff like that. But again, 110, I don't know if that would be considered a great statistical sample either.
Especially if we have to check the addresses, because we get those from the bar.
Yeah, so.
And it's usually they give us people signing petition from the Lower East Side.
And
Correct.
Gregor, who had done it year 2 and year 3, had people again signing petitions at the event. But again, it was it wasn't necessarily all residents, so we didn't think that was a valid way to necessarily gauge. Again,
But you don't have someone walking from business to business and talking to
I know,
others.
I've gone and
Oh,
talked
okay.
to every single business and dropped it off, and like for the most part, they're like, thanks. And I say, hey, come. I mean, I had inside the mall. There's a fancy speaker shop, and he was at first he didn't want to take my stuff and kept throwing it back, and I kept trying to explain to him if there was a problem, he should take it because then we could sit down and have a discussion. In the end, it turned out that I should not say this, but I will. The person who had organized it, the volunteer for NAG Gregor, was telling all those businesses in the mall that they couldn't participate unless they paid, which is not true and lame. And so he was pissed off at him, and I, said that was lame, that was stupid, it's not true. If you want to be on the sidewalk, you're a business on Bedford, you're allowed. So I feel like we smoothed it out, and he was like, cool. Again, I passed these all out in the first week of April, and I haven't had a single person contact me either way, yay or nay, from Bedford. I have a lot of the off-Bedford businesses that are wanting to participate, and I've signed up Brooklyn Charm, Sven's, what do you call it, Sven's Moving House, or whatever. There's
Right.
people are signing up to
Now-
participate.
The businesses that are on the street can put stuff out to their curb
To the curb line, yeah.
without paying anything.
Without pay, yeah.
But they can only do cash transactions inside, so
Yes.
people can pick something up and they have to go inside
Yes.
the cash register.
Yes.
Okay, so, but if they got this letter, are they thinking that you're asking them for money?
No, I don't. I mean, I think the letter is pretty clear that if you want to contribute and do it, you can. But I think it's pretty clear that anyone, if you live on Bedford, you can participate. I mean, if you have a business on Bedford, you can participate. We've never ran into, which I'm still shocked. We haven't run into any residents doing a stoop sale, and I don't know how that would fit in DCA's rules of life. But I mean, we haven't yet had that happen yet. But I would feel like it would be allowed, right? I don't know.
Residential people living on that route above the stores, and they have kind of a hobby and they want to put out their art and stuff like that. Are they entitled as well?
I mean, I would think so, yes. Again, I don't know. The DCA has never put out a policy on, or DOT has never put out a policy on how residents can participate. But my assumption would be, as the organizer, that if a resident wanted to take over out to their curb line, they could.
But they
Well,
can't
but
take
on-
money
but-
on the curb.
Yeah, that's the problem, is they're,
That's the rule
you'd
that breaks it.
have to go in their house and pay
Yeah.
the money.
Well,
Yeah.
the question is, in front, let's say you got 20-foot footage.
But they just wanted to display something, of course.
Where
Put
would
something
they
up.
display it?
What-
The curb, in front of the building, you have 20,
They-
20 you have runnage, foot runnage in front of their store. Who gets to place the stuff first?
Oh, you mean if it's a store
Between
or the
the
resident?
business
The
and the
businesses. The
yes,
businesses.
the businesses.
Whoever's the ground floor, I would say, has priority to take it over. Now,
So in
we
that
have,
case, the
in the
residential,
mo-
where would the residential person put, excuse me, where would they put the merchandise if they didn't
I mean,
decide
if there was a resident that wanted to do it, I would find a place for them. I would try and figure it out. Again, it comes problematic because they can't accept money on the street,
Right.
so they'd still have to be running into their house. So I
They'd
don't
have to be
know.
like doing secret deals in their doorway.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know, or they
And
could
in
go, or
another,
they
in
could go
another
into the
neighborhood,
business.
they think they were doing drug deals.
But if they wanted to just show their work,
it? Yeah, I feel
right?
like certain people like to
We
give
do
their-
have public art that we've had in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, anyone that wants to participate, we figure out a way to help them participate. So if anyone, and
Yeah,
even
but
if
which paper would you put it? That's what I'm saying. You cannot
Well,
put,
I think
you can
I
put it
would-
on the street, in the middle of the street. No, you gotta put it on the sidewalk.
No,
it would
Ryan
depend on
work
what it
out.
is. It would depend on what it is. If it was an artist that wanted to display something and it would fit into the middle of the street, it would make sense. Then I would let them come into the middle of the street
Who
because
gets
again,
who gets to put
So-
in the middle of the street?
anyone that comes through me can go in the middle of the street. Like any community group, any off Bedford business, they pretty much just say, hey, I'm interested in participating. They tell me what it is they're doing. So, for example, Gym Park. So Gym Park, I'm like, okay. Then I think where it would make most sense to put them. We try and, I wouldn't put them at at North 7th because that would create complete chaos. We've always put them up at North 9th because it's the start of a residential block, it's shaded, it's nice for the parents. You know, the guy at Bedford Realty, he's going to be doing a lion dance in front of his realty. That will go, you know, right out in the street in front of his business.
There's no real guidelines then if a merchant wants to continue after the curb. If you allow them, they can still.
So they're supposed to do something. They're supposed to. So if you're talking about to be in the middle of the street, you're supposed to be doing some sort of programming. Now, I have let community groups, I've let it, sort of. I haven't necessarily always enforced that they have to do active programming because for some of the groups it's difficult. All they know how to do is table and talk about their group. But technically, everyone is supposed to be doing some sort of programming, either handing out games, you know, they're supposed to be doing something active.
Offering something.
They're supposed to be offering something. Now again, I try and help each group that signs up and talk to them and encourage them to be more active, to have it you know, but there's lots of people that did crafts. We had the cyanotype workshop. We had, you know, lots of little crafty. We had all the music kid performers. We had the robot guy. So we had, you know.
Full disclosure, I did voter registration and games.
Yes. Yeah, so we
I was in charge of the game tables, but I also did voter registration.
Yeah,
Did
so
feel accosted by you on my residential street.
The bottom line is
Accosted with
when you
love.
mentioned before that
Don't
eliminates
stop.
the curb is only for their first right.
well, it's
His property.
yeah,
Thereafter, he comes
for
into
their
it.
so for the business of stuff. So if let's say it's a clothing shop and they want to. They can put their clothes out to the curb. I would not let a business put clothes out in the middle of the street. If that same business was listen, I want to put a DJ in the middle of the street, I would probably talk to him and say, sure, you can put a DJ in the middle of the street, you can put a bubble machine in the middle of the street, but you can't put your clothes in the middle of the street. You can anyone can program in the street. The business restaurant thing has to stop at the curb line.
All right, you brought up the DJ thing. What's the sound rules?
So our sound rules have always been acoustic. So we let them half plug in, meaning mostly because most bands are I need to have the mic for the singer plugged in. So it's all half. It's half acoustic. It's acoustic ones. It's what do you call that? Half plugged in. I mean, I'm trying to encourage all stuff acoustic-y. Huh?
So there would be a DJ in the middle of the street.
No, I mean I use the DJ example because one of the stores always puts a DJ. What are they called? They're one of the clothing stores at the end, but they're super. I mean they do it really quietly. So again, it's what no one is you know. Pima always does a little DJ out front.
Back to the. Did you get your?
Yeah, I want the sod.
Oh, the sod question.
It's to create a lawn space.
But it doesn't.
It does. People hang out on it all. I mean, it was super
picnic
popular.
there.
That people love it. It's one of the, it's been one of the more popular things. It's a lawn.
And somebody who sponsors that is.
It all. I mean, we use some of our NAG budget for it because it's been popular, and then different people sponsor it. So we've been, different companies, different people.
And if nobody takes it at the end,
It's always been taken. There's people fight over it. So.
And then my question would be, is it alive 4 months later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Or into the next year?
Yeah, people, there's people that, I mean, my neighbors all, because they knew me, knew all about it, and they all have a lawn. I mean, it's stressed. You have to have, if you're going to take the sod, you have to put it in, that night or the next morning. You can't roll it up and wait 3 days. It's stressed lawn. It's been sitting out all day on a hot, on the concrete, so it's not the happiest sod, but,
Out of curiosity, do you try to purchase the sod from some environmentally sound place so it's not full of chemicals
we
for the babies?
purchase it from DeLeo Sod, who they do the sod for the Yankees. That's about all I know about them. I don't
probably
think that,
got a lot of stuff on it.
Yeah.
To make it be what it is. But it's something to think about.
I live on Bedford Avenue, and I'm assaulted all the time on Bedford Avenue. I know you guys work really hard to make
assaulted
it by everything that's
okay,
happening.
not physically actually
Yeah,
assaulted.
yeah.
Okay.
And I know you guys work really hard to do this, but I am always amazed at the lack of information that's given to the people who live on the blocks. Because, let me finish,
Okay.
because every time at least one of these dates conflicts with something where I am getting a delivery or something has to happen and I'm inconvenienced in a way that is not, doesn't make it, it's just, and I also know, having talked to my neighbors and my local businesses, that it's not widely beloved. And I think one of the ways you can tell if it is or it isn't is, do the local businesses on Bedford, are they sponsoring it with financial
They
sponsor?
are. I mean, we do. I mean, I would say at this point, to be honest, we'd have just as many people upset if we canceled it. There are some businesses that love it. We get calls all year long from people who are like, when is it happening? Is it happening again? So again, I would love the negative feedback to come to us, because I can honestly report
filled
I've
out
never.
every survey.
Yeah,
with
but I've never gotten. You can pull up. I've never gotten a negative email. I've never gotten a negative
Well, but
letter.
what are we gonna do? Wait. Let me finish. So what are we gonna do to alert the residents who are impacted in a way that hasn't been
I've
happening?
been trying to figure out what to do, because I started putting these packets, and I was told not to. What do you call it? Solicit. And a lady, one of the little.
Where would you put this package?
I was putting it in the mail slots under people's doors
residential,
for all the residents, and I got yelled at saying I was
Well, but
soliciting.
this is soliciting.
Well, okay, so again.
this is you.
Well, it
this-
wasn't the. I mean, it was just the front one. So it was just the front page. That isn't soliciting. That's saying. Yeah, it has the dates. It has when it does. It's saying. Yeah, but it also says participate, organize, give input.
As soon as you mention money, it's a solicitation.
Okay, but it also has my. I mean, again,
Well, but then
I'm not sure how I can put
Do you guys
something
have
on
any-
people's
Hold it.
things without it being a solicitation.
All right, the question
But,
that
I mean,
Abraham has, Ryan
I
has,
get yelled at. So
the question
I
I have,
stopped.
the question Ryan
Yeah.
has, and when I used to do street fairs, is we get those silly little street parking will be whatever.
I
So
do that.
please
I
give
do.
us-
No, I do that.
Alright.
Again,
wait. Let's
No,
talk.
wait, so it
okay.
has to be a simple, like, Williamsburg walks 3 dates. If you're getting deliveries or whatever, it's gotta be for whatever time the street's closing. Anything you need to do those 3 weekends, do before noon or whatever it is. But in big enough letters that it's like, when people come home from work, they're just seeing, oh my god, the street's gonna be closed these 3 days.
So
I
when?
should be able to-
In May, every day starting
Well,
now.
how
like,
soon in advance do we
because
need to
again,
know?
I did it a week. Started putting out the no parking signs the whole week ahead of time.
Well, but I don't know what the no parking signs are.
It has-
Oh,
it
no,
has
I
the
know
dates
what
and
they
times.
are, but I don't know what it has. Like, I think you should go in every building and there should be a sign, just like Tom says, that you tape on the door, and it
Okay.
sits up there, a week before each of the
Okay,
events.
and then when
And
when I get yelled at by the little ladies for soliciting, I can send them to you, right? And say a
Well,
resident
but-
on this street asked me personally. To
I
put
asked
this
you to
on
inform
door.
the community.
Okay.
Is what
Well,
I've
that's-
asked.
Why the
I'll go beat
solicitation, by
those
the way?
ladies.
Why the
What?
solicitation?
What?
Why
I'm not
Should I
saying
give the
Why
solicitation.
the-
solicitation?
why
for
the
this
solicitation?
burglary?
I think this
A lady told
document
me I was
with the
soliciting.
sponsorship.
It wasn't attached. I mean, it says sponsorship, but I mean, it was informing them of the dates.
So
Again,
basically-
I
so
argued that it was
basically
informing
I
them,
think
and
what,
I was
like-
told not to
So basically, to
solicit.
avoid that issue, if you could just have a note, it will be what, forget about those, let's not work.
Yeah, I can
Something
take out
which
the
could
blue
be
thing. That will just.
presented as solicitation.
No, it's
Be
got to
aware
be.
that the Monday.
No, we don't even need the pictures, all it has to be is
Exactly,
typeface.
just a note.
Yeah,
Information.
on a sheet of colored
Williamsburg walks
paper.
So no
2012,
solicitation,
streets
no
are gonna be closed, these hours, if you need things
That's
to
it.
get done, do it in the morning.
No solicitation, no,
Yeah.
they have no question.
Be brutalist, do it brutalist.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
It's basically, think of like some person who doesn't
When?
pay any attention, a week
So-
before.
Yeah, how?
Don't even
how
write
long
have
before?
fun, don't even write have
Week
fun.
before?
Boom.
Week before, yeah.
Week before,
Yeah.
Okay.
week before, if you need help.
I mean,
let me know.
probably it makes
We'll go-
sense to do it that
we'll go tape
Monday
on doors.
before the first one, because you're probably confirming anything that you have happening.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
the week before, every day I'm out there going and doing this stuff. So again, I put up the no parking
But
signs
this is
on
not
Monday
a judgment
before.
on
I
your
didn't- I
effort
didn't
or
say
any
it
of that. I
was,
mean,
but
it's,
I'm s-
but if you
I
keep
feel like
Are
coming
you
back,
doing the parking ones then? or
I mean,
not?
I'm
course.
sorry you're the only one really doing this stuff, but to me, it's like if the community's not behind you and saying,
I feel like the community is totally behind me, so I don't have that impression.
Okay.
Except that little old lady won't put the sign.
No,
Right,
she didn't like
right.
she didn't want me to put solicitation. She could have cared less what was written on it. She
Oh, she
didn't
just
want me
wanted a piece of paper.
She
She
didn't
just
want
wanted
me
a piece of paper.
soliciting. Yeah, she
Actually,
had no
all it take-
idea what I was talking
actually,
about.
all it takes one person on the block being disappointed about an issue like she mentioned, and that could destroy the asset of the whole block.
I know.
Actually, for your advantage,
Yeah.
should be looking out on that.
And we're gonna tell the full board at the next meeting.
Great.
I'm sorry, just a little, did you say it started at 11 because you needed
No.
more time?
The
set
street
up?
closes at 1. On here it's wrong because SAPO actually did. Sorry, I haven't changed this. SAPO actually came back with the permit saying 1. That we only. This is where I say they said we only get 1 hour to set up. So they said you can start at 1, and I was just like, cool. Then for me now the programming doesn't run from 2 to 8. It runs from 3 to 8. We just took away an hour of programming because it's impossible to set up in 1 hour.